I'm a sucker for handsome guys. The 99th time I confessed to the class heartthrob, Ethan Tyler, he still coldly turned me down. I happened to overhear his friends joking. Uh-oh. This time he hesitated when rejecting her. I heard she wants to apply to the same university as him. Wouldn't be surprised if we end up attending their wedding after the entrance exams. Ethan threw a basketball at them with a look of pure disgust. Don't drag me into anything with a shallow girl like that. It makes me sick. The first day of school, I was standing at the gate with a box of cupcakes I'd just baked and ran straight into Ethan. His eyes lit up when he saw me, but then he awkwardly turned away. Don't do this again. I don't like sweets. I stared at him in confusion. Sigh. Now how was I supposed to explain to Ethan Tyler that the one who loves sweets is actually my boyfriend? I'm just an ordinary girl. Ordinary from the roots of my hair to the soles of my feet. But that never stopped me from having a heart that yearns for beauty. Just like my mom always says, men are all the same. Pick a handsome one at least when you wake up in the middle of the night. You won't cry because you're lying next to a pig. I kept that in mind. Since I was little, I only chased the best-looking boys in class. If I couldn't win over the heartthrob of Class 1, I'd move on to Class 2. Didn't work there? Class 3 then, and so on. In high school, most of the boys hit the awkward puberty phase and collectively lost their looks. Only Ethan Tyler remained stunning. I locked on to my target him, and him alone. He was smart, gorgeous, and could even play the violin. Every time he stood on stage, long lashes lowered, slender fingers gliding over the strings, he looked like a painting. When his performance ended, the applause thundered through the auditorium. But all I could hear was the pounding of my own heart. The first time I confessed to Ethan Tyler, he looked at me coldly and asked, "So what is it you like about me, Sophia Hart?" I tilted my head and thought seriously for a moment before replying, "You're the most handsome guy in school." He sneered. "Everyone who confesses to me says that. Too bad I hate girls like you the most." Ouch. Even while mocking people, he was still so handsome. I was completely lost in Ethan's looks. I didn't even register half of what he was saying. Somewhere in there, something must have ticked him off. From that day forward, he started openly hating me. He hated how I'd leave warm milk on his desk every morning, hated seeing me bring him water at basketball practice, hated my accidental run-ins with him. But just for that face, I endured everything. For 3 years I followed Ethan Tyler like a little tail. I confessed so many times I lost count. Of course, he turned me down every single time. My best friends were exasperated. "Soph, you can't chase a guy like this. The internet calls this cold face washing his underwear energy." "So what?" "I'll wash it." I scratched my head, unfazed. They didn't get it. I do laundry for a cold-faced guy, because that underwear is just too damn good-looking. Today was Ethan Tyler's birthday. I held the carefully prepared gift and stopped outside his private room. Voices from inside carried loud and clear. "Ethan, seriously, do you have a thing for Sophia Hart?" I froze, pressing myself against the door. Uh-oh, he's quiet. That means something. No wonder he seemed hesitant the last time he turned her down. Then someone started commenting on me. "Sophia Hart's nothing special, but she's got curves, man. Big chest, tiny waist-smoking body. Total hopeless romantic, too. Super easy to control." Ethan likes the use even without a head type, right? Once the lights are off, they're all the same anyway. It's all about the feel, ha ha ha. Heard she applied to the same university as Ethan. Don't be surprised if we're drinking at their wedding after exams. The laughter got louder and louder. I thump. A basketball hit someone. They cried out in pain, then went dead silent. The room grew eerily quiet. Ethan Tyler stood up abruptly. His handsome face twisted in fury, eyes blazing. Big chest? Tiny waist? If you like that so much, you'd date her. Don't drag me into anything with a shallow girl like that. It's disgusting. I lowered my head, staring at the fabric tote bag in my hands. It had started raining on the way over. I didn't have an umbrella me. Clothes were soaked. Only the tote was dry. I had been hugging it close to protect what was inside. It was Chopin's Farewell Waltz, the birthday gift I had spent a long time choosing for Ethan Tyler. I just wanted to tell him that even after graduation, we'd meet again at the university we both dreamed of. If you had said yes, that would have been a new chapter in our story, not the end of it. I was wrong. Sophia Hart isn't worthy of someone like Ethan Tyler. I spoke out of turn. Inside the room, someone was still laughing awkwardly, trying to apologize. Ethan's friends were infamous for saying inappropriate things. But his response still stunned me, leaving me completely shaken. Suddenly, everything felt meaningless. The face I had adored for 3 years, never once getting tired of, was capable of speaking such hurtful words. I gently set down the music score, turned, and walked away without looking back. The next day, I took the morning off, calling in sick. As soon as I took my books out, Ethan Tyler walked over. He tapped on my desk. "Sophia Hart, hand in your homework." There was a trace of irritation in his voice. "The college entrance exams are around the corner. Why weren't you here yesterday? You disappeared all day." "I was here yesterday. I submitted the assignment on time too, didn't I?" I couldn't figure out why he was interrogating me. "Sure, you came to school, but it was my birthday yesterday and you didn't come to the—" I couldn't hold it in and cut him off. "You hate me so much, shouldn't you be happy I didn't show up to your birthday party?" My voice, still hoarse from being sick, sounded like it had been torn apart. Ethan was momentarily speechless, startled, and his anger faded in an instant. "You were sick yesterday? Your voice?" A second later, he tossed a box of medicine onto my desk. "Don't wander around after school anymore. Getting sick now will affect the college exams." He hesitated, then added, "Don't take it the wrong way. As class president, it's my responsibility to monitor everyone's academic progress. You said you wanted to get into Tsinghua University." Tsinghua had always been Ethan Tyler's dream school. Even though Hua University next door suited me better, I had always insisted on applying to Tsinghua just to walk the same path as him. But not anymore. I had decided to change my application to Hua University, and I didn't plan on telling Ethan about it. I casually replied, "Thanks for your concern, class president. I'll do my best." Ethan gave a small, satisfied smile. He instinctively raised his hand, as if to pat my head. Or maybe that was just my imagination. His hand hovered mid-air, then slowly withdrew. Before leaving, he tossed out one last sentence. "If you don't understand any math problems, you can ask me any time. Helping you get into Tsinghua is also part of my duty as class president." He deliberately emphasized that last part like he was afraid I might get the wrong idea. Or maybe, like he was reminding himself. After the college entrance exams, everyone became busy. Some were estimating their scores, some were submitting applications, some were waiting for results. That summer quietly passed, filled with cicada songs and long shadows under the trees. As the first day of college approached, my best friend dragged me to a high school reunion. The moment she saw me, she screamed, "Oh my God, you actually got your hair done. You look amazing. Wait till you get to Tsinghua, Ethan. Tyler's gonna lose his mind over you." I felt guilty. Actually, I didn't apply to Tsinghua. I got into Hua University. And I already have a boyfriend. We're meeting up once the semester starts. Her eyes widened in disbelief. "You chased Ethan Tyler for 3 years and now you're just letting go? And you already have a boyfriend? How did you two meet?" Under my best friend's relentless questioning, I finally confessed. "His name's Aiden Cole. I saw him in the comment section of Wa University's confessions page. Just thinking about his sword-like eyebrows and those starry eyes made me blush. It's not like I meant to move on so fast, but he's just too good looking. And Aiden was super easy to chase. We added each other just a few days ago, and he already said yes to my confession. My best friend lunged forward, yelling for me to show her a picture of Aiden. Holy, this wedding's approved by me. He's insanely hot. Just as she finished that sentence, a familiar male voice rang out behind us, clear and smooth. Ethan Tyler stood behind me, a rare, gentle smile on his lips. Sophia Hart, heard you got accepted too? Congratulations. I turned around. Ethan's eyes landed on my face. He froze for a moment, then quickly regained his composure. His Adam's apple bobbed slightly. His voice was careful, deliberate. I called you a few days ago. You didn't answer. Did you need something from me? The truth was I'd changed my number. But I wasn't planning to tell him that. Nothing important. I just wanted to ask if you had a lot to carry, if you needed help. He added, since we'll be classmates again soon, we should look out for each other. Thinking about how jealous Aiden could be, I quickly waved him off. No need. At that moment, everyone around us was laughing and chatting. No one noticed Ethan and me standing quietly in the corner. He let out a small cough. That day you did come to my birthday party, didn't you? The boy's tone was firm and certain. That farewell waltz left at the door, you chose it. So, you stood in the rain just to give me a birthday gift, and that's why you got sick. I looked at Ethan Tyler strangely. All of this was in the past. I had nearly forgotten it myself. What was he trying to say? Ethan maintained his usual awkward demeanor. Actually, I never hated you that much. That gift was my favorite one. Now that I've said it, do you get what I mean? Maybe he just didn't want bad blood between classmates and was trying to make peace. I thought about it for a while, but still couldn't detect any hint of deeper feelings. So I just gave a light nod. Ethan let out a long, relieved sigh. Suddenly, he stepped closer. And before I could react, I was pulled into a hug. Sophia Hart, I'm really happy you got into college too. See you at Tsinghua. His smile lit up his entire face, eyes filled with something that almost looked like hope. Not being able to contact Sophia Hart left Ethan Tyler feeling strangely restless and unease he couldn't put into words. Before the entrance exam, he'd already sensed something was off about her. There was no more warm milk in his desk drawer each morning. No more girl waiting patiently by the basketball court under the blazing sun. The little board on Sophia's desk that used to say, I will get into Tsinghua, even that had disappeared. Those small changes buzzed around his head like mosquitoes, slowly consuming his thoughts. And the faint footprints outside the party room, along with the farewell waltz left at his door, he couldn't stop thinking about them. That sheet music was nearly out of print. He had searched for it forever. Who could know him that well? Could it have been Sophia Hart? But how could Shay Girl so shallow, so obsessed with his looks understand his deep devotion to music? Still, lately she hadn't been paying attention to him anymore, hadn't followed him around like before. She must be focusing hard on getting into Tsinghua. But even after the exams were over, Sophia didn't return to being his little tag-along. Ethan Tyler suddenly became insecure about his looks. He stared into mirrors, worried that all the studying had made his skin worse. A few pimples still hadn't healed. He even secretly checked her social media to see what kind of guys she'd been liking posts about lately, then bought a few outfits in similar styles. When he heard from her best friend that Sophia did get into Tsinghua, Ethan was overjoyed. I knew it. She likes me that much, of course she wouldn't give up so easily. He realized that he didn't mind being classmates with her again. In fact, he might even be looking forward to it. At Tsinghua, It would just be the two of them without those teasing friends who always got on his nerves. Maybe things could be different. But why was he even thinking that? Once he confirmed she was the one who left that music score, something clicked in his heart. Sophia Hart wasn't so bad after all. She was different from the girls who liked him just for his face was sincere. All in all, he figured he could give her a chance. He remembered a line from The Painted Veil, when the male lead Walter said to Kitty after she betrayed him, "I know you're foolish, shallow, and empty-headed, but I still love you. I know you're vain and ordinary, but I still love you. I know there's nothing special about you, but I still love you." Sophia Harton, average student, average-looking, and hopelessly into pretty boys, was the very definition of second tier. But she had worked hard just to get into Tsinghua for him. Ethan had to admit, that moved him. That one line, "I don't hate you that much," was his way of saying it. He just wondered, did she understand? As he thought this, Ethan looked at Sophia with an unconscious softness in his eyes. Her new hairstyle really suited her. She was looking down at her phone, reading something and smiling so wide, her eyes disappeared, cheeks flushed with pink. Yeah, she was still kind of plain, but sometimes kind of cute too. Her phone vibrated nonstop. All the messages were from Aidan Cole. "Sophia, are you home yet? Let me know when you're back safely. It's 10 p.m. already. Still not home? Don't tell me an old flame is keeping you at that reunion. Don't smile at him. You're not answering. Are you actually mad? I was just joking. I miss you so much, How. Don't let some other guy steal you away." Aidan Cole wasn't just the jealous type. He was clingy, too. Gorgeous, yes, but oddly lacking in security. Always worried I'd leave him. He'd said before that he wanted to visit my city, but I gently turned him down, saying it wasn't the right time yet. I looked at my phone and smiled softly. My fingers glided across the screen as I sent a reassuring message. "Head pats, just a few more days until school starts. Hang in there. I really miss you too." Thinking about that photo of his abs, I added, "Stop overthinking. There's no X at the reunion. I only love my baby -3. After registering at Huada University, I made a short trip to my cousin's house in Haishi where Aidan Cole also lived to prepare a little surprise for our first meeting. He'd once mentioned he had a sweet tooth, so I wanted to secretly bake a little cake and hand it to him myself that afternoon. I was sure Aidan would love it. The strawberry cake filled the kitchen with a delicious aroma. I admired my creation from every angle, totally satisfied. Then I snapped a quick picture and posted it online, captioned, "You're even sweeter than this cake." Seconds later, a gray profile account liked the post. The account looked oddly familiar. It had been visiting my page quite frequently lately. I clicked on it. It was completely blank. No posts, no details. Didn't look like a casual user at all. In fact, it totally gave off secret alt account for stalking energy. And yet today it broke cover and liked the post. Weird. I carefully placed the cake in a cute little box and tied a pink ribbon around it. My head was a mess of thoughts. First time dating someone I met online. First real relationship. What if things were super awkward? What if Aidan Cole was just a filtered photo fantasy? What if that 6'2" height of his was a lie? And those abs, what if they were just photoshopped? All my thoughts were spinning around him. Not once did I consider that. Maybe the problem would be me. Back then, little Sophia used to get mocked by classmates. Someone as plain as her chasing hot guys? Talk about a toad dreaming of swan meat. It stung. But my mom said it had nothing to do with looks. She told me I just had a natural talent for love. What, you want my daughter to fall in love with ugly guys instead? If a handsome guy likes you, it just means he has good taste. If he doesn't, it simply means you two weren't meant to be. Who cares what others think? Those NPCs in life don't matter as long as you're happy. And my mom? She picked a gorgeous, brilliant man and boldly loved him, then left, leaving behind a daughter me before disappearing for good. I took a deep breath, heart pounding. I was seriously running through Plan B in my head. What if I didn't like Aiden when I met him? How would I break it off gently? Just then, a tall, lean silhouette stepped in front of me. My thoughts shattered instantly. Annoyed, I halted and looked up. My gaze locked with the deep, black eyes of Ethan Tyler. He was standing at the gate of Tsinghua University like he'd been waiting for someone. The moment he saw me, he walked over in long strides, eyes quickly scanning the box in my hands. A knowing smile tugged at his lips. Without asking, Ethan stretched out his hands and casually took the gift box from me. I didn't even have time to react. His smile grew even wider. Next time, don't bother. You know I don't like sweets. But since you went through all that effort this time, I'll take it seriously. His eyes sparkled like tiny constellations. Only now did I notice he wasn't dressed like usual. Gone was his forever stapled white t-shirt. Today he was wearing a button-up and jeans, almost like a manga lead from that new webtoon I was following. Maybe it was the outfit change, but every movement of his felt a little stiff, a little forced. Sensing my gaze, he cleared his throat. The tips of his ears turned bright red as his eyes darted shyly away. I studied him closely. The longer I looked, the more I realized I must have been blind before. Compared to Aiden Cole, Ethan Tyler looked incredibly average. His nose wasn't as sharp, his skin not as clear, and his build, still scrawny like a middle schooler. His arms looked like limp noodles. Clearly he hadn't been working out at all since the college entrance exams. And one more thing. Ethan had completely misunderstood something. Did the violin fry your brain? What are you even talking about? I didn't get a single word he was saying. I reached to take back the gift box, but Ethan blocked me. I was irritated and slapped his hand hard. Give it back. That's not for you. He flinched, but kept his voice soft, as if coaxing me. Okay, my bad. Whatever you make, I'll eat it. Just don't be mad, all right? Ethan thought I was just playing cute. He didn't realize I was dead serious. Not only that, he took advantage of his height, holding the cake box above my head where I couldn't reach, even on tiptoes. With his other hand, he lightly patted my back like I was a child. He was trying to calm down, telling me wordlessly, "Don't be angry." I jumped, trying to grab the box. Ethan Tyler, can you stop being so full of yourself? I stopped liking you a long time ago. That cake is for my boyfriend. But he just kept indulging in his fantasy. Sophia, stop pretending. Everyone in Class 6 knows you chased me for 3 years. Still, calling me boyfriend already? Isn't that moving a bit fast? I haven't even given my answer yet. The words froze on his lips. The hand holding the box was suddenly seized by another. Larger, stronger. Fingers long and elegant. Aiden Cole gripped Ethan's wrist with firm pressure. Don't touch her. Ethan tilted his head, looked up at me, and smiled. Sophia, don't you think it's time to explain to your classmate here who your actual boyfriend is? Ethan Tyler instinctively frowned. Who are you? Grimacing slightly from pain, he was forced to let go of my hand. And when he saw Aiden Cole holding my hand tightly, his entire body stiffened like he'd turned to stone. His name is Aiden Cole. He's my boyfriend. The second I said that, Ethan's pupils contracted sharply. Especially when he got a good look at Aiden's face, he was suddenly lost, unsure how to react. He stood there for a long time, stunned. When did you two start dating? Didn't you bake a strawberry cake because I'm allergic to mango? He muttered to himself. And you said I'm sweeter than the cake. So the alt account stalking me was Ethan all along. I felt a chill run down my spine. I didn't want to waste another word on him. Now, can you give me my cake back? Ethan finally seemed to pull himself together. Looks like I got used to Sophia always fawning over me. I just assumed the cake was for me. Then he turned to Aiden and gave a mocking smile. Your girlfriend's little tricks to win a guy's favor? I've seen them all 100 times in high school. Only you would treat them like treasures. He glared at me. Then his hand loosened, and he threw the cake box onto the ground. Without another word, he turned and walked away in long strides. Our first real-life meeting ruined by Ethan, and in such an ugly way. I stood frozen, head down, heart full of regret. Aiden crouched beside the dropped cake, trying to salvage it. He gently picked up the crushed box and studied it with a pained look. This was the first cake you ever made for me, and I didn't even get to taste it. Suddenly he exclaimed, "It's not broken, still edible." Sunlight flickered through the trees and a breeze passed by. Aiden looked up, his finely sculpted face lit with joy. He held the crumpled box like a precious prize. My heart clenched at the sight. I softened instinctively. I'll make you lots of cakes from now on. Really? His eyes sparkled with happiness, but then dimmed slightly. He remembered Ethan's earlier words. Then, it has to taste better than the ones you made for him. I quickly explained. This is the first cake I've ever made. He's just talking nonsense. I chose strawberries not because Ethan's allergic to mango, but because you like strawberries. He was clearly feeling insecure again. I didn't know why someone as gorgeous as him had so many strange insecurities, but I swore I'd use my love to help him feel safe. To show him that, to me, was the most wonderful person in the world. Not just cakes. I'll make cream puffs, cookies, macarons, all of them just for you. Light returned to his eyes. A smile crept onto his lips. But that classmate of yours really seemed to care about that cake. Aiden let out a deep sigh. If he finds out you said all this to me, will he be mad? Sorry, I just can't stop overthinking. We met online, but you two have 3 years of history. If one day he confesses to you, would you leave me? His voice was soft and innocent, but in those eyes I saw a sly glint, like he was cleverly setting a trap. I shook my head hard. Nah, I must be overthinking. Aiden definitely wasn't the scheming type. I reassured him firmly. Don't worry, that day will never come. Finally, Aiden chuckled softly. He pulled me into his arms, held me gently, and kissed my ear. What I didn't know was, Ethan hadn't actually gone far. He'd circled around behind the flower beds. Something had made him stop. And now he was watching everything unfold between Aiden and me. Jealousy devoured his reason like wildfire. Ethan clenched his fist tightly, only to find himself locking eyes with a pair of sharp, black eyes filled with calculation. Aiden Cole, still smiling sweetly as he had when coaxing me earlier, glanced calmly at Ethan, then looked away, not even granting him a full look. That posture, quiet but victorious, stabbed straight through Ethan. It was silent but devastating. The first thing I did after returning to my dorm was open the mysterious alt account that had been secretly following me for so long. Last night it finally posted its first ever message. I know you're foolish, impulsive, and empty-headed, but I still love you. I know your ambitions, your goals. I know you're practical, even shallow, but I still love you. I know you're nothing extraordinary, just second-rate, and yet I still love you. No matter how many flaws you have, I can't stop being drawn to you. And I hate myself for that. Suddenly Ethan's voice echoed in my mind. Those exact words he once used to reject me. Sophia, You don't understand anything, and yet you still dare say you like me? Don't touch my violin. You only liked this face. You never cared about who I really am or what dreams I had. Get out of my way. Stop pretending these chance meetings are accidents. It's pathetic. So the second-rate person he mentioned, was that supposed to be me? And then a far worse realization crept into my mind. Could all of Ethan's strange behavior today actually mean he liked me? I started putting the pieces together, and it hit me far too late. Just the thought of it made my stomach turn. I instantly blocked that alt account along with every way Ethan could contact me. At first, I wanted to give him a piece of my mind. But then I thought, what's the point in arguing with garbage? My youth deserves better, like enjoying college life and Aiden Cole's flawless body. It didn't take long for Ethan Tyler to realize he'd been blocked. He showed up outside my dorm building, wearing a hoodie pulled low over his face. Sophia. I was walking with my roommate when I heard the voice and instinctively flinched. How the hell did he find me? You lied to me. He gave a bitter smile. You didn't even apply to Westbridge. Do you know how long I searched every enrollment list from every department looking for your name? Then I tried to reach you only to find out I'd been blocked. Did you ever think about my feelings? There was a time when I thought seeing Ethan in a sorry state like this would make me feel triumphant. But the truth was, I felt absolutely nothing. Because I didn't like him anymore. His joy, his pain, his frustration couldn't stir a single emotion in me now. He was just noise. Even if... Ethan's voice trembled, full of hurt. Even if you're dating Aiden, can't we still be friends? I stared at him blankly without a shred of expression. You weren't like this before. Don't tell me you don't even like my face anymore. He turned his head away, voice hoarse. It was then I noticed a scratch on Ethan's forehead. Who hit him? It definitely wasn't Aiden. He's far too gentle to ever do something like that. He probably just tripped on his own. Lately, Ethan's mood had hit rock bottom. Not just because he discovered I never applied to Westbridge, but because he heard some rumors. A guy claiming to be my classmate back in middle school said this. Man, she's the textbook definition of a heartbreaker. She chased after one of my buddies for a whole year, took care of him, comforted him when he was down, made him cry. Man, he was so touched he finally said yes. And guess what? 3 days into the relationship boom, breakup. She dumped him. Why? She said he stopped growing in puberty. Said his blooming period was too short. Told him straight up dating someone short was a turnoff. If that's not heartless, what is? Yes, the feelings were real. The pursuit was real. But she fell in love fast, and fell out even faster. That's the real Sophia Bennett. Ethan suddenly felt panic rise in his chest. He started regretting the moment he'd thrown the cake to the ground in that stupid fit of anger. And the more he thought about it, the more he resented Aiden Cole. That sweet-talking snake who had played up the drama, pretending to treasure the ruined cake, making Ethan look pathetic in front of Sophia. It was in that moment that Ethan was finally forced to confront the cowardice in his own heart. The jealousy, the bitterness, the resentment, they all stemmed from the same truth. He liked Sophia, but he was too scared to admit it. Once that clicked, something inside him let go. He felt calmer, lighter. And now that Sophia and Aiden's relationship hadn't fully settled, he still had a shot. Ethan stayed up all night. By morning, he'd started asking around for class lists from every department, trying to track down Sophia's schedule and dorm room. The result? No one named Sophia Bennett was enrolled at Westbridge this year. He called their high school homeroom teacher. Only then did he learn Sophia had applied to Riverton University. He picked up his phone to message her, and that's when he realized he'd been blocked on every single platform. The confidence Ethan had just begun to rebuild, shattered in a heartbeat. You guessed right, I left Farewell Sonata at your door. But I didn't show my face, because while I was standing outside the party room, I overheard your friends mocking me, and I heard your disgusted reaction. I gave him a cold smile. Someone like mellowly, ordinary beneath you. How could I possibly be your friend? Yes, I'm someone who loves beautiful faces, but I would never crush my dignity for someone who didn't want me. Ethan stood there, stunned. That day, what did I even say? Exactly. He didn't even remember. How ridiculous. I turned to walk away, but he rushed forward and blocked my path. Wait, I must have said something really awful that day. Please, give me a chance to make it right. I'll bake you a cake too. I looked at him, emotionless. Ethan Tyler was now all in, as if he was one step away from ripping out his own heart to prove his sincerity. Even if you enrolled at Riverton just to spite me, I don't care. It only takes 20 minutes from Westbridge. I can visit you every day. Didn't you used to say you worked so hard to become better, just so you'd be good enough to stand next to me? And another thing. His voice turned desperate. Yesterday at school, someone jumped me with a bag over my head. That must have been Aiden. That guy is not some model student's a thug. How can you be with someone like that? I looked Ethan dead in the eyes, my voice calm but cutting sharp. Ethan Tyler, I think you've misunderstood something. I chose Riverton not to spite you, and not to prove anything to anyone, but because it's the future I want for myself. You thought every effort I made was to be worthy of you? You're wrong. I study, I push forward, not to stand beside someone, but to stand on my own, with the freedom to choose my life. Whether it was Westbridge or Riverton, I got in with my own ability. That doesn't say anything about your so-called charm. It just proves I'm a girl with strength. He froze. His face flushed, then went pale. As for whether Aiden hit you, if he really did, he was in the wrong. But have you ever asked yourself why someone might want to hit you in the first place? You stand up high and judge whether I'm worthy of being liked by you, but never once wondered if the real second-rate person is the one who has to drag others down just to feel superior. Ethan just stood there in the wind, completely stunned. He had clearly dressed up today, shirt buttoned perfectly, hair slicked back with gel, trying to use the last remnants of his once boyish charm as a final trump card. But in the blazing summer heat, the gel and sweat had turned his hair greasy and limp. His shirt clung to his slouched back. He looked messy, pitiful. It was getting late. Aiden was still waiting for me to have dinner together. After a long silence, Ethan finally muttered, "Sophia, I'm sorry. I don't accept your apology. And one more thing, don't come to Riverton again. It'll only annoy me." As I turned to leave, a memory flashed through my mind. The afternoon I once planned to give him a gift. Back then, his cruel words and the mocking laughter of his friends stung like salt on an open wound. I really truly wanted to throw Farewell Sonata into the trash, but I didn't. Because even if Ethan's feelings were cheap and false, I knew he had once truly loved every note that came from my fingers. I clenched the sheet music in my hand, then slowly loosened it. Finally, gently placing it on the ground. Ethan didn't deserve forgiveness, but his dream at least deserved a shred of dignity from the world. Outside the cafeteria, students bustled to and fro. Aiden Cole stood tall like a tree, and the moment he saw me, that tree seemed to come alive, joyfully shaking its branches. What a coincidence. Today he was also wearing a white button of his handsome face, like it had stepped straight out of a manga panel. I had a fleeting thought. He looked even more stunning than the day we met. He quickly walked over and grabbed my hand, mumbling softly, "You talked to him for 23 minutes. The moment I saw Ethan earlier, I'd messaged Aiden to let him know I needed to talk things out with him once and for all. Then I noticed a scratch on Aiden's wrist small, barely visible. Did you get in a fight?" I stared at him coolly. Aiden put on his best innocent face. "Nope, cat scratch." "Oh, yeah. Looks like Ethan's wounds were worse after all." "No worries then." "Phew, good thing the cat didn't get my face," Aiden dramatically lamented, tilting his head to the sky. "My face is my whole empire. If I lost it, my wife might dump me." Then he bent down and kissed me, murmuring, "That cat scratch really stung. But with just one kiss from you, it doesn't hurt anymore." I tiptoed and gave him a smiling kiss. Epilogue. In senior year, Sophia Bennett won a full scholarship to study abroad, ranking first in her department. Aiden Cole convinced his family and transferred to the same university. If she has wings to fly, I'll be the wind that lifts her higher. Ethan Tyler asked a friend to pass along his congratulations to Sophia. But at that moment, she was fast asleep. Aiden glanced at the cheesy message on Ethan's behalf, then casually deleted the entire chat. Spam, not worth reading. Rumor has it, Ethan's now dating a girl from a well-off background. She's got a princess. Complex calls his violin skills useless, says he'll never be able to support her. She pressures him daily to switch majors. Crushed, Ethan now often drinks late into the night with old classmates. Drinks became habit. Habit became routine. He started gaining weight. In the end, the princess dumped him too. Without a girlfriend to fund him and still jobless, Ethan Tyler's life had taken a nosedive. Everyone around said Sophia Bennett struck gold landing Aiden Cole, the sweet and loyal guy she met through the school's infamous confession wall. But every time she heard that, Sophia would just smirk. "Not really. The lucky one is the person who gets to be with me." Only Aiden knew no one becomes that infatuated for no reason. It was all part of his long-laid plan. And honestly, he was lucky. He and Sophia had once been classmates. But back then, Aiden was always too busy, rarely showing up at school. Though in different classes, he knew roughly of her. That fiery, stubborn girl with sparkly eyes, always full of energy and enthusiasm, and absolutely weak to pretty boys. His mother was a famous actress, determined to send him abroad as soon as possible. With the face he inherited from her, becoming a celebrity was practically guaranteed. At that time, Aiden was still young, without any real goals. So he thought, if this was a path someone paved for him, why not give it a try? He trained hard in singing and dancing, even released a few demo albums. And for a moment it felt like maybe there was hope. Then one day, some guys in his class discovered the albums online. They played them out loud in class and laughed. "Just because your mom's a movie star, you think you're hot stuff, your singing's garbage, and you look like a girl you seriously think you can debut in Korea? Heard the entertainment industry's filthy. Maybe your mom slept her way up. You'll carry on the family tradition, huh? Mother and son conquering the world one bed at a time. Ha ha ha." That was the first time Aiden ever threw a punch. When he got home, his mom was furious. She asked why her normally quiet son would ever get into a fight. He refused to explain. They were a single-parent household. She had worked so hard to raise him right. He didn't want her to hear those disgusting words. From that day on, he threw away every album and focused solely on academics. He wanted to prove to the world Aiden Cole didn't need anyone. He could get into a top university with his own strength. But punching someone still had consequences. The school suspended him. When he returned to collect his things, it happened to be the school's charity fair. He wore a mask and carried a black backpack, moving upstream through the crowd, and just happened to pass by the booth of a girl from the other class. The stubborn girl with sparkling eyes. "Hey, want to buy an album?" Aiden froze mid-step. To his surprise, those very same albums he'd thrown away were now neatly arranged on a table. Sophia was carefully wiping each one, making sure there wasn't a speck of dust left. Her eyes sparkled as they reflected his stunned face. Aiden turned away coldly. "Not interested. Just looking at it, I can tell it sounds awful. The signature sucks, too." The girl grew anxious. "Wait, don't go." She picked up one album like it was a treasure. On the cover, a teenage boy looked up into a backlight, his youthful throat and sharp jawline full of rebellion. "Sure, his singing's a bit rough, but the songwriting has soul. It's honestly good. You should buy one. What if this student becomes a star one day? This would be a collector's edition." It was only when she stepped closer that Aiden noticed the name tag on her chest. It read, Sophia Bennett. She scratched her head, suddenly a bit shy. "Actually, I secretly asked a music major to help me record some harmonies. I added my own backing vocals." "Why pick these up?" His voice shook slightly. "Because someone out there was chasing a dream." Sophia gently wiped one of the cases again. When these were tossed in the trash, each one was carefully wrapped in dust-proof sleeves. They were even numbered. I figured whoever threw them away must have been heartbroken. So I held on to them for him. Might as well promote them too. She grinned, and for a second even the sun seemed to pale before her smile. "If I had this much drive when doing math, maybe I could have gotten into Riverton." "Wait. No, I need to get into Westbridge. I want to be with Ethan Tyler." The wind tossed her bangs into her eyes. She muttered and lifted her hand to shield them, her silly ramblings stopping short. But that image was burned into Aiden's memory. That day he bought every last album, and during the countless late-night breakdowns that came with cramming for exams, those songs were what pulled him through. When it came time to fill in his university preferences, the first image in his mind was her face. She said she wanted to get into Riverton? But hadn't she said she was applying to Westbridge for someone? Who? Someone she liked? Aiden decided to take a gamble. He wrote Riverton. If he could really meet her again there. Even if she loved someone else, he wouldn't let go. And fate listened. In a sea of more than 3,000 confessions, under the freshman love wall, Aiden scrolled to the very bottom, and there it was. "I'm not a pig, you are." He took dozens of selfies, trying to find the most handsome angle. In the end, he went all in, sending a pic with his full face and sculpted abs. "Hey, want to try dating me? If you're worried I'm not serious, we can start online first." He poured all his courage into it. And the wheel of fate began to turn. The unfinished song finally found its ending. From one desolate heart blossomed the very first note of spring.